So welcome back students. Now in this third part, what we are going to see is the basic terms involved in this chapter called solid state. Okay. So let us see what is crystal lattice first. Crystal lattice and lattice mean same. Crystal lattice and lattice mean same. Okay. So as I said you, this is a lot of imaginative based chapter, 20 chapter in 20 books. So let us start imagining. Okay, now we have to imagine a lot. Crystal lattice. Let us consider a building as a crystal lattice. Okay, let us consider one huge building is a crystal lattice, and that building is made up of glass. Suppose. So when you see from the other side of the road, can you see the person walking in the top floor, ground floor, left, right floor? You can see because it is made up of glass. So if you see in a building from other side of the road towards the building which is made up of glass, you can see some persons are walking in this direction, some persons are walking in this direction, some persons are walking in this direction. So let us consider the person as particle. Let us consider the person as what? Particles. When you view from the other side of the road towards the building which is made up of glass, you may see some person walking in this direction, you may see some person walking in this direction, some in this, okay, or sitting, whatever. So let us consider the person as particles. So now inside the building the particles are arranged, persons are arranged in three directions, x-axis, y-axis and what? Z-axis. So similarly, if building is crystal lattice, then persons are particles. Okay, building is crystal lattice, then the persons are what? Particles. So the three-dimensional arrangement of the particles in a crystal is called crystal lattice, which is also simply known by the name lattice. Okay, which is also simply known by the name what? Lattice. So do remember, three-dimensional arrangement x, y, z of the particles in a crystal is called crystal lattice or simply lattice. So if building is crystal, then the arrangement of the person inside the building in three-dimensional form is called crystal lattice or simply lattice. And wherever the persons are present, that location of them is known by the name lattice site or lattice point. So what is lattice site or lattice point? It is the location of the person, that is particle, in a crystal lattice. So it is the location of the person in a building. It is the location of the person in the building, or you can say it is the location of the particles in a crystal lattice. So wherever the person's locations are present, that is called your lattice site or lattice point. Now let us see what is the meaning of interstitial site. So interstitial site means out here you can see this is a gap between these two, and this is the gap between these two. Okay, so it is a region between the lattice site of the particles. So this is the lattice site of the particle, this is the lattice site of the particle, and a region in between that is called interstitial site. Okay, so the region between the two lattice site is called interstitial site. So you can see from here. Let us consider this is a crystal. Let us consider this whole as a crystal, okay? And these are the particles arranged along x-axis, arranged along y-axis. Let us assume some crystals are in this direction along z-axis. Particles is along x-axis, y-axis, even along z-axis some particles are there. So wherever the particles are located, that is called lattice site. And the gap between the two lattice site is called this gap, this gap, this gap. You can see this is lattice site, lattice site, lattice site, and the gap region between the two lattice site is called interstitial site. Okay, student. So do remember the location of the particle in a crystal lattice is called lattice site or lattice point, and a gap or a region between those two is called interstitial site. Now, as I said, if you consider crystal lattice as a building, inside building there are lots of room. So each room are called unit cell. Each room are called unit cell. So when lots of room combine, you get a building. So similarly, when lots of unit cell combine, you get building again, crystal lattice. So I repeat again, if crystal lattice is a building, then each room present inside it is called unit cell. So what is unit cell then? It is the smallest part of the crystal lattice. Means, what is room? It is the smallest part of the building. So if crystal lattice is building, unit cell is room. So room is the smallest part of the building. So do remember, student, if you consider building as crystal lattice, then room become unit cell. And do remember, unit cell is the smallest part of crystal lattice. Room is the smallest part of the building. Okay, so unit cell is the smallest part of crystal lattice. So you know that when so that means, can I say crystal lattice is polymer of unit cell? Because when lots of unit cell combine, we get crystal lattice. When lots of unit cell combine, we get crystal lattice. So crystal lattice is a polymer of unit cell. Therefore, unit cell is the monomer of crystal lattice. I have already taught you the chapter called polymer. From there we can make a concept. If this is polymer, this is monomer. If this is monomer, this is polymer. Why? Because lots of unit cell combines to make crystal lattice. Therefore, its another definition will be, it is the monomeric unit of a crystal lattice. Means it is the smallest part of the building. So I repeat, there are two definitions of unit cell. You can say it is the smallest part of the unit crystal lattice, or you can say it is the monomeric unit of crystal lattice, means the smallest part. So room is the smallest part of the building. So in our next part, we are going to see is the type of unit cells. So far in part 1, part 2 and part 3, I have explained you the syllabus portion, difference between amorphous solid and crystalline solid, one objective question based on amorphous solid, 5% is over. Now 95% we will discuss only about crystalline solid, in which first I discuss is the type of crystalline solid and which is in our syllabus, which is not. Then I explain you is about crystal lattice, basic term involved in this chapter. So we consider this as building, this as room, this is the location of the person, and the gap between the two locations of the person is called crystal interstitial site. Okay, so if you want, you can take the screenshot of this to make the notes back home. Thank you very much.